If you want to leverage YouTube to generate inbound leads, win new clients, and help you grow your business, but you don't want to become a YouTuber, this video is for you. Look, I was on YouTube for years and only had 615 subscribers. And then after making some pretty serious changes to my strategy and overall approach to YouTube, I gained over 687 subscribers in just 1 month alone. In 2 weeks after this, I added over 1,000 new subscribers in less than a month. And I'll explain that jump in growth here in a second. But more importantly, leading up to that, I started generating inbound leads for my business. I started winning clients, generating actual revenue. Now, I've been consistently generating inbound leads and winning clients on places like LinkedIn and TikTok, but for YouTube, that was new to me. Now, one of the best parts about it is a lot of the engagement and the opportunities and the leads that you get are in videos that you created months and sometimes even years ago, which was such a change in pace for me because I was used to LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram, where pretty much once you post, maybe you got a couple days, maybe you got a few weeks in some cases, but then that post is gone. It's dead. Where YouTube, the videos can literally live on for years, helping to grow your business in the process. And then of course you break those videos down and repurpose them for the other platforms, and we're going to talk about that in a second too. Now, massive disclaimer here. I am not a YouTuber. I do not want to be one, even though I did get accepted into the YouTube creator program. And I'd like to thank my mom for being the one person that watched my YouTube videos in the very beginning and always told me that, well, she didn't tell me much, but she said that she watched the videos. I run a well-established B2B company, and we do video content and social media strategy, training, and coaching for mostly 7-figure businesses. I set out on a mission to create the type of content that when my customers go to search for my areas of expertise, that my videos would come up and they would get so much value from them that they'd want to engage with me more and then eventually potentially want to work with me. And shocker, it worked. And I wanted to do all of this without having to rack up hundreds or millions of subscribers on YouTube. And so in this video, I'm going to give you the literal blueprint on how I did all of this, how my channel went from a literal ghost town to a higher performing inbound lead and client generating YouTube content channel. Let's dive into it. So first and foremost, when I start going through a lot of this stuff, I'm mainly referring to the medium to long form traditional style content, the search-based content that YouTube is known for. Now, I am going to touch on the micro videos, the short form clips, the YouTube shorts, and other platforms. So hang tight, I will get there. But most of the strategies, tactics, and techniques that I'm going to talk about specifically are for the traditional longer form 16:9 YouTube videos. And let's just call these anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes to 30 minutes. So number one, first thing I did to really turn my YouTube channel into what it is today and to what it's becoming is I niched down. And I made the mistake, just like pretty much everyone does in the beginning, where I just used my YouTube channel to like throw videos on there. I was like, oh, I did a podcast, I'll put that on there. I made a couple random videos for LinkedIn, I'll put that on there. You do a webinar, you put that on there. The problem is that does not work for YouTube because it is a search-based platform. If you're not creating specific content with that in mind, it's never going to really perform. And then I would look at YouTube and be like, YouTube sucks. It's a freaking waste of time. But really, it wasn't YouTube. It wasn't the platform. It was me. I was being too lazy. I was just dumping video content on there and hoping that something magically would happen. It ain't gonna happen. So the very first thing you think about is, hey, what is my YouTube channel gonna be known for? And think about it like a destination. And so here's a question I want you to ask yourself right now. My YouTube channel is the home and destination to all things blank. What is that? Mine ended up being video marketing. And I could bucket social media marketing in there too, because I talk about LinkedIn and TikTok and other platforms as well. But I pretty much stuck with that niche. Now, I would even say, if I'm being honest, I could have niched down even further to just LinkedIn marketing, because some of my highest performing videos have been based on LinkedIn. There's so much demand for people to understand how LinkedIn works, and that is an area that I specialize in. I could have went down that rabbit hole even more. The only reason I didn't, and this is a very important point I want to bring up, is because I didn't feel like it aligned overall with my company and our brand and our position in the marketplace, where we're not just LinkedIn strategists and trainers and coaches. We do video marketing and social media marketing strategy, training, and coaching, but LinkedIn is a big pillar within that. So there's no right or wrong here. And what I don't want you to do is put yourself in a super small box to where you feel like you can't be creative and unleash your creativity. But you do need to think about, what is that destination? What do you want to be known for? Once you've got that, then there's a million ways to get creative. There's a million ways to deliver your message in unique ways. This is not about fitting in and trying to blend in with what everyone else is doing, but it is about respecting the platform and understanding that people are going to search for something. It's not a feed-based platform where they're just scrolling in the feed and they happen to see your post that day. Number two, once you've clarified that and you've built out your profile and your messaging to reflect that, meaning your description, your banner, all that good stuff should represent what that destination is, then you need to start making videos. But before you start making videos, you need to start with research. I cannot emphasize this enough, especially in the beginning when you're really trying to learn how to build out a YouTube channel. With search-based content like YouTube, you can't afford to try and be cute. Like, there was times I try to post something and be cute or give my framework right and be like the 3 C's of LinkedIn: content, communication. And they didn't perform because the problem was people were searching for, what do I post on LinkedIn to win clients? What is a LinkedIn strategy? LinkedIn lead gen, LinkedIn marketing. So what I had to do was do some research and understand, what are people searching for? What are people clicking on? What is getting views and engagement and what is not? Now you can and should get creative with the thumbnails and the titles once you got that topic down. And we're going to talk more about that in a second, titles and thumbnails. But you first got to figure out, where are people's attention going? So you might be asking yourself right now, like, well, where do I go to do the research? 3 core places you want to look at. Number 1, YouTube itself. Literally go in the search bar, let the search bar start typing in a word or two, and then let the search bar finish your sentence. That's probably going to indicate that there's more popular topics based on that if it finishes your sentence or finishes your phrase. There's also, if you go to the analytics section, there is a tab called research where you can type in keywords or topics and it will show you how those stack up and how those rank. You could search YouTube for hours and just learn about thumbnails and titles and what videos work and what don't, how they start the videos, how they end the videos, what they say in the beginning, how they retain your attention, how are their pages set up, what do they put in the description. You can learn a lot by just going on YouTube and really doing research in your niche. The second place you want to go is customers and prospects. When you're talking to them, dumb it down, think about what language they use, what questions they commonly ask that you hear as a trend over and over and over again, and then obviously confirm it with YouTube when you do your research. But you get a lot of really good information just by talking to your customers and ideal prospects. These are the people that are searching for the content in the first place. And number 3, you can use something called vidIQ. Now, I'm not going to go over all their different plans or if they have free versions or paid versions or all that stuff, but it's a software / product that allows you to go in there and do actual research. It'll break down analytics in more depth. It'll track your own metrics. And I would say that would be an optional type thing, right? If you stick with number 1 and number 2, like I just talked about, you're going to have a ton of research and a ton of great information that you can use. And for the most part, that's really all I've ever used. Okay, so the third thing here, you need to make your thumbnails and titles so freaking good that it's impossible that when someone's searching and then scrolling through the feed, it's impossible for them not to click on it. It's just too engaging. It's too intriguing. It seems like it's going to bring them exactly what they searched for. Okay, because here's what happens when someone searches in the YouTube feed. They type something in the search box. Now, obviously, YouTube will feed them things in the homepage that it thinks you're interested in based on previous engagement and behavior. But when you go to search for something, you type in what you're searching for, you hit search, and it's going to start to show you videos that it thinks you're searching for. It wants to keep you happy because if they keep you happy, they keep you on the platform, and that's how they make their money. Now, once you're in that search feed, you've got a bunch of different creators that you can pick from. You're going to select the video, and you've done this a million times, whether you realize it or not. You're going to select a video based on the thumbnail and based on the title. And a lot of times you'll look at the title first and the thumbnail. It could be a half a second at the thumbnail and then you look at the title. Those both go hand in hand with getting somebody to actually click on your video. We got to get them there. The impression is showing up in the search, but we want the impression click through, which means they're actually clicking on our video and beginning to watch the content. And once they do that, of course, then they're watching the video. So it's impressions, impression click-through rate, views, and then average view duration and watch time. And then of course you've got things like engagement as well. And as a general rule of thumb, you want a human component on the thumbnail. So if you look at my thumbnails, you'll see that I'm typically on the thumbnail. We don't want just text for the most part. It's not as emotionally appealing to another human being. And even the pictures, a lot of times there's some type of emotional reaction to get people to stop and say, wait a second, this looks different. And then the title, you want to keep as short as you possibly can while allowing the viewer to understand the value that they're going to get from that video. So if you can do it in 5 words, 6 words, 7 words, that's perfect. What you don't want to do is make it 2 sentences long, because if they don't understand the value they're going to get from the video in that first line, your second line is probably going to get cut off. So if they got to read that whole thing and it's so long, by the time they get to the end of it, they've already scrolled past. So short and concise, and then the thumbnail complements the title complements the thumbnail. And something I have said before, our thumbnails are more emotional and titles are more logic, but I also think that there's a little bit of blend there too. Now, if you're struggling to come up with actual titles or thumbnail ideas, aside from doing research, you can also use things like AI and ChatGPT. Go on YouTube and search by view count, pull up all the videos that have performed very well, grab all the titles or the thumbnails, put them in something like a ChatGPT and say, hey, analyze this for me, ChatGPT, and tell me why all of these perform so well. What do they have in common? What are they doing? What are the takeaways? What can I use in future thumbnails or titles? And you can even ask it, if it's about a specific topic, you could say, hey, now give me 20 titles based on this subject using that framework. Give me thumbnail topics or concepts using these examples and the framework. And just to give you 3 quick examples here. So we've got this one here. If I started on LinkedIn from 0, and then notice the thumbnail doesn't say that. The thumbnail is just me doing one of these. but it's 0 to 30,000+ followers. So it brings the emotional journey and story to that title. Another one is everything you need to make high quality videos. But the thumbnail says Video Equipment 101. So I'm hitting people on kind of both sides, right? The thumbnail should not have a lot of copy on it, all right? Sometimes it doesn't have any copy. If it does, it's typically as less words as we possibly can. And another example is what to post on LinkedIn to win clients there. But if you look at the thumbnail, it's more emotional and it's more of a call to action where it says, post this. And I'm holding up my phone and content from LinkedIn. So to recap, by now we've done a few things. We've gotten clear on what the destination is for our YouTube channel, what is the purpose behind it, and who we want to attract. We've done some quality research. We've got the titles and the thumbnails down. Now we need to make the actual video. So how do we make a video that, one, retains the audience? They've clicked on the video now, but now you got to keep them watching. And secondly, and very importantly, we got to deliver on that thumbnail and that title that we promised. We made a promise to someone searching for our video that we were going to give them X, Y, and Z. We want to not only deliver that, we want to over deliver that. My goal with this video is you get done watching it and you go, I feel like I should have paid for this. Like, this was better than some of the master classes and the paid courses that I've gotten. And please subscribe if it is. Now, to do this, what I do is I follow my GEMS framework. So it's a proven framework that we came up with. It's an acronym. I'm not going to go super down this rabbit hole because I've done whole videos on this, but the acronym goes like this. The G stands for get clear on your audience and message. The E stands for engage your audience with a strong hook. The M stands for map out your key points. The S stands for sum up your message and inspire action. But for YouTube specifically, I'm going to give you some good stuff here so that you can go apply. Because while that framework can be used for long form, medium form, short form, there are some specific things that I do with YouTube that are a little different than some of the short form. So I'm going to give you this right now. So the hook of a YouTube video, you typically have a little bit longer than a short form because, again, people are just scrolling through the feed. You got very little time. With this, they've searched, they've gotten to your thumbnail, your title, they've liked it, and they've clicked on the video. Now they're kind of bought in, right? It takes a little bit more effort to be like, all right, let me go back to the video, search for a different one. They're a little bit more invested here, but we've got to keep them invested. So that first 5, 10, 20, even 30 seconds really should do a really nice job of packaging up what you're about to talk about while delivering a lot of intrigue. You need to speak directly to your audience. Notice in the beginning, I didn't say, here's how to become a YouTuber or here's how to master YouTube, because guess what? My audience doesn't want to do that. Just like I didn't want to, right? They want to generate inbound leads. They want to build brand. They want to be known for a certain topic. They want to use it to grow their business, refuel their other content. So I didn't just say what I'm going to teach you. I said, hey, what I'm not going to do is show you how to be a YouTuber, because I know my audience doesn't care about that. So I typically spend that first 10, 20, 30 seconds just setting up the video. I want to let them know, hey, you clicked on this video. This is exactly what I'm going to give you. And a lot of times I'll embed in mini hooks even within the hook. So if you notice at the beginning of this video, I talked to you about what I was going to teach you today, but I also said, hey, and I'm also going to get to the short form and the repurposing and that kind of stuff too. Or I may start off with a traditional hook and then go into, hey, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'm actually going to give you a bonus X, Y, and Z. Once we get past the hook, and I typically write out the hook almost word for word because that's so important. But then what I do after that is I map out my key points. All I want to do is make sure that I stay on track and that I embed mini hooks in there too, and that I retain my audience and continue to deliver on that promise that I made. This helps keep me organized. I don't script it out word for word, but I've got a good amount of key points in there so I stay right on track the entire video. So then I want to sum up my message and inspire action. And for me, this is typically two things. A lot of my videos have a Q&A section at the end, which by the way, you can use ChatGPT to say, hey, here's my video script or video guide. Give me 20 or 30 questions that you think my audience, who is this, and this, would ask about. So it'll literally take your script or your guide that you write, the video that you're going to create, and it'll tell you, hey, based on what you told me here, I think your audience would want to know this, and this. And so that's how I get a lot of the questions, both from the audience that actually asked the question, the comments, that kind of stuff, of course, but also I use it to just generate really good ideas. And then I typically have some type of call to action. And obviously it could be subscribing to the channel. It could be, hey, I've got another video that you definitely should check out that's going to pop up here in a second. You want to add those on the end cards when you're going to upload your videos so that YouTube doesn't recommend somebody else's videos. You want them recommending more of your videos so they binge watch your content. Or it could even be something I want to take them off of YouTube. I want them to go to my site or a landing page or sign up for something. It could be a lot of different things. And number 5, we need to nail the description portion of the YouTube video. Okay, so you've got the title, you've got the thumbnail, you've got the video, but now you've got that description part, which is very critical. A lot of times what I do is I transcribe the actual video once it's done, and then I use ChatGPT or a form of AI to help me turn it into a YouTube description. A few key things you absolutely want in these though. The first and most obvious thing is good copy, meaning you just lay out what the video is about. And there's going to be, of course, a lot of keywords in there as well that are going to be good for search. I typically recommend 4 to 5 to maybe 6 hashtags, and make sure they're all relevant to what the video is about. And again, think search. I like adding bonus videos in the description. You'll see them in mine, because again, if someone's searching through there, I want them to go to other videos. And of course, I put links to my social channels, my website, and if there's any special offering that I want to take somebody to, I make sure to do that. If you're not doing this, it's going to be much harder for you to convert the content into actual conversations, or just to take it off YouTube and go wherever you want them to go next. And finally, number 6, and this is a big one, you need to build out a content repurposing strategy before you start pumping out all these videos. Because as an example, when I make one of these videos, here's what I'm getting on the back end. 1 long form video for YouTube and potentially the podcast, 4 to 5 micro clips from this actual video itself, another 3 micro clips from the Q&A section, and all of those are going to be repurposed vertically for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, LinkedIn, and other channels. 1 newsletter, 1 blog post, and then a handful of LinkedIn text and picture post. It's hard to get that if you just go into it saying, all right, let's just make a video. You need to be thinking about the end result. Now, I get this question a lot, so I'll just answer it here. I do have an editor that edits all my videos, but if you're looking for a low budget video repurposing tool and you don't have an editor, this is a great option to look at. It's called Opus Clip. You dump a long form video in their software and it spits you out a bunch of micro video clips. It chops up key points in the conversation or in the video. It edits the video and adds captions and things like that. And then all you gotta do is download the video clips. Now, I dropped a link in this description, so if that's of interest to you, I'd go check it out. The other thing I'd recommend is Descript, where it does auto captions, it transcribes the videos. When I talk about transcriptions and using this video to transcribe and give the AI, that's what I'm talking about. I use Descript, and that link is in the description as well. But don't overlook this part, because repurposing content can refuel entire content channels like a YouTube, a LinkedIn, a TikTok, and actually drive more traffic to your YouTube videos to begin with. Now, I did 2 really important videos on these that I definitely think it's worth you check out if you're gonna go through this. And let me get the actual names for you so I say this correctly. The first one is put your content creation process on autopilot. That's more of the content workflow and process and system. And then I did one on repurposing called repurpose your video content like the pros. I would go check out both of those for sure at some point. And lastly, at number 7 is stay consistent and find a good rhythm that you're going to do for the next 6 to 12 months to 2 years. Coming out of the gates trying to do 1 to 2 videos a week may not be the best move for you. To build up momentum, I was doing once a week for a while. Then I switched to bi-weekly, and I think that's probably where I'm going to stay. There may be some times where I do once a month. YouTube's about quality, not necessarily quantity. And you know what time it is now? It is time for the Q&A section, so let's get into it. First question: how many videos do you need to create on YouTube, both long form and shorts, to see real results? I think a great place to be is to be doing 1 long form YouTube video, a quality video every 2 weeks, and then to be repurposing those long form videos so you have at least 2 to 3 to 4 shorts that you can upload every single week. You want to go harder and you can do more quality videos in shorter periods of time. You can do 1 long form a week. You can do 5 to 7 to 10 shorts a week. But it's important that you understand that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So you're doing as much as you can and then burning out after 3 months when you're just now starting to get to that place where it's going to start compounding if you've done it right. It's a giant waste of time. Question number 2, what are the most effective types of videos for attracting clients and generating revenue on YouTube? Take the biggest problems and challenges that your customers have related to your area of expertise and go make videos about them and make them so good that people would literally pay to watch and listen to them. And let me give you a perfect example of this, right? I've gotten a ton of comments on my YouTube channel, and in the first couple of months, first few months, you're really banking on that qualitative feedback to know, is your content good? Are people resonating with it? Do they want more? Are they wanting to subscribe and get more content from you? And then you start to see the quantitative metrics and the leads and the clients catch up over time. But I've gotten a good amount of comments just like this. This is an actual comment on one of my YouTube videos. So I've watched a ton of gurus and have even paid for courses on how to use LinkedIn. But this single 12-minute video taught me more than all of them. Fantastic posts and incredible, valuable information. I will be doing all of this today. That is the type of content that converts on YouTube. If you and me are competing and we're in the same industry and we're making the same amount of videos and we started the exact same time and you're making more surface level, kind of generic, everyone kind of knows it, it's kind of information commodity. You don't want to share the big secrets because you don't want to give it away. You want people to pay you for it. And I'm making those kind of videos, I'm going to smoke you. And it's not even going to be close. Last question. How do you ensure that the YouTube videos have a long shelf life compared to other social media platforms? Couple things here. 1, you make sure the content is as evergreen as it possibly can be. And look, sometimes you're going to be doing a video that's more about what's happening right now and specific to right now. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you make content that's evergreen, meaning that the topic is probably going to be relevant another year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you've naturally got a better shelf life. So are people going to be searching for and interested in that topic 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8 years from now? Now, of course, things always evolve and change, but as a general rule of thumb, are people going to want to still learn about X, Y, and Z a few years from now? The other thing that we talked about that would give you a much longer shelf life and overall performance is really nailing a good title and thumbnail. And lastly, you got to make a quality video, which I hope by now you have learned how to do. And thanks for being here, and definitely go check out those other videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I've got an entire video archive of other videos just like this that are going to help you grow your business through video content and through social media. And we're dropping new videos all the time. We'll see you next time.